Welcome to Brave Science. We're going to continue our discussion on string theory, and we're going to look at the four components of a string according to a quadruplicity perspective. All right, let's talk about the possible constituents of the one-dimensional strings in string theory from a quadruplicity perspective. Remember in the last video we talked about whether or not the strings pluck themselves or not, and we gave two different versions of the same string. One in which one of the components is responsible for the plucking of the string, and the other, there is no component which plucks the string. Instead, the string is plucked from an outside system. Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about the latter possible string, one in which it does not have a component that plucks itself. So you got four components to that. You have the string itself. We need to name the other components just so that we know what we're talking about. And of course, this is all an axiom. This is, let's just assume this is so, that this is true. Let's call the component that holds down the string, that secures it in place, let's call that the nut. Okay. Let's call the component that regulates the pitch of the string, tightening, loosening, let's just call that the knob. And you know what? I don't want to hear any complaint, because what about strange quark, charm quark, and flavor? You got a leg to stand on. So of the four, the string, the body, the knob, the nut, which of those generates products? Which one gives birth? Which one makes something? The string. The string is the one that, according, at a certain frequency, at different frequencies, it generates particles. Okay, so the string is the provider. Okay, that fits. All right, which one is the custodian? The one responsible for preventive maintenance in the system. That would probably be the nut. That makes the most sense. See, the nut, which holds the string down, holds it in place. It prevents, preventive maintenance. And that's very similar to the neutron, with the strong force, holding it down, holding it in place. Okay. The knob would be the guard, because the regulating of the pitch of the string, the tightening, loosening, really there's only two components left, and the knob makes sense for the guard component. And that also reminds me of the way electrons move, all of the changes around us that we can see, and even that we can't see, it's because of the exchange of electrons between atoms, that fluctuating, up and down through the energy levels, through the shells, right? And, they're trading, on, off, and that's why I like to use that word knob, because it reminds me of that, it's alternating, And then of course, finally, the body, that's the matrix component, right? That's the one that connects them all, right? It connects them all, and it's interesting that the body of the guitar is the component which takes in the vibrations of the strings, and I'm not sure if this is the right word, but projects the sound out, right? So the body is definitely the matrix component. So you have the body's the matrix, the string is the provider, The nut is the custodian, and the knob is the guard. Okay, so now that we've discussed the components of the strings of string theory, for the next video, we'll go into how do they work? How does the knob turn? What forces are at play? What forces are interacting in this system? So this is Brave Science telling you to take no one's word for it and be brave.